Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be speaking to you from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Honored guests, faculty, my 20D classmates, most importantly, family and partners that have been right behind us through this incredible journey. Today is as much about us as it is a testament to the support you've given us. Right from the beginning, we thank you. My name is Bru Ayela Terfie. I'm an Ethiopian by birth, son of a former political exile, raised in Namibia and educated in South Africa. To say that my itinerant upbringing has shaped my character is an understatement. I've had to surmount serious language obstacles at a young age and assimilate to societies very different from mine. Through my travels, I have learned to think beyond group, beyond tribe, beyond country, to focus on the multitude of challenges we face as a continent and as a world. This is not just my story, however. It is the story of so many others at INSEAD. We have all come as global citizens looking for global causes to work on. So I'm humbled to be here with you today, representing an amazing group of people to reflect on the year that was and get us to start thinking on the future that will be. And what a year it has been. One thing's for sure, our noses will never be the same again. And it started off so promising. For perfectionists like me, even the symmetry in the number was amazing. 2020. I knew this year had to be memorable. I was just not sure how. We started off bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as my primary school teacher used to say, with the eagerness we hadn't had since our undergraduate years. We mingled at countless cocktails, repeated our personal stories to anyone who cared to listen, and even those who didn't care to listen. We met so many people and learned so much about so many places in such a short space of time. There are 69 nationalities in our class, ladies and gentlemen, a little United Nations. We met people from the largest countries like Russia and Kazakhstan to the tiny little ones like Andorra, who, despite their size, proved to us that dynamite does indeed come in small packages. We had nuclear scientists in our midst, award-winning aerial gymnasts, finance professionals, doctors, engineers, and consultants, lots of consultants. We learned to work with each other at the Splash Community Challenge, where the first thing we did collectively was to build the playground for disadvantaged children. What a way to reinforce our business as a force for good mantra than to make good the very first thing that we do. Then P1 began in earnest, and we got immersed in an endless stream of classes, assignments, surveys, and polls. It felt like we were being force-fed content so rapidly that some of us no doubt felt we had exaggerated about our abilities on the entrance essays. Our head was spinning from the workload during class and the non-alcoholic beverages afterwards. It was a whirlwind, but it was fun. This chaotic adventure, however, would not be long-lived. It was March, the end of P1. A few of us had gone to visit our families, and the rest had gone on holidays near and far. And when we returned, well, things weren't the same anymore. School, instead of where we left it, had migrated to the cloud, and Zooming had become a verb we'd all become too familiar with. We spent our entire days glued in front of our laptops for work, leisure, exercise, even love. We became deeply acquainted with our rooms and our fridges. Personally, I opened my fridge so many times a day, I bet it wanted to ask me, what do you want now, Bru? What do you want? I knew I had left nothing inside, but I couldn't help looking again and again and again. The lockdown was not fun. It was hard to concentrate on Zoom the whole day, and we missed the classroom interactions. We missed the socialization at Freddy's that had begun so warmly. We missed the group work in the BORs, where we often trailed off on casual conversations instead of finishing our assignments. We missed the chit-chat and foosball outside the cafeteria and the amazing food inside. Even the ceremonial dinging of the bell couldn't take place, so we could console each other when we heard bad news on the job front. It was sad. Still, though, we were privileged. Unlike most people in the developing world, we could afford to quarantine in our rooms without worrying about where our next meal would come from. Unlike most of the elderly, we weren't worried about getting COVID and it being an automatic death sentence. And like the thousands of health workers in the world, we did not have to witness sickness and carnage every day. And like millions in the globe, we did not lose our livelihoods overnight. So many things have gone wrong in the world this year, ladies and gentlemen. So many things, it's hard to keep count. Started off with the Australian wildfires. Who still remembers those were this year? We then, of course, had the pandemic with the global recession, which we haven't seen in 100 years. We lost so many influential people. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, an icon in the US Supreme Court. Kobe Bryant and his daughter in a helicopter crash. Chadwick Boseman, Maradona, Eddie Van Halen. The list is endless. We had the tragic Beirut explosion. Such a cruel year. When I was preparing this speech, it was hard work to find the positives. But still, they're definitely there. Firstly, we have seen people come together like never before. At INSEAD, I saw the outpouring of support when people had to quarantine or when they had COVID. There were always friends ready to buy groceries for you, to deliver food, to deliver medicine. You didn't have to ask. The solidarity was spontaneous. Looking at things with a broader lens, we have made so many strides in the development of the mRNA vaccine that it's promising swift dividends for other diseases like malaria, which we have been struggling to cure for generations. And then there was the loss of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and countless others. May their souls rest in peace. These events have created so much awareness across the world about the Black Lives Matter movement that major questions are being asked in equity and diversity issues in government offices, organizations, and institutions globally. I won't pass this point without making mention of our very own EDI task force led by Michael, Ali, Darren, and Thomas. The events we witnessed shocked all of us, but it also sprang you into action. You looked for ways to make an impact and helped our own institution find ways that it could stand up and be counted. With your initiative, the INSEAD alumni community, INSEAD Africa Club, and the school administration, our school has now committed to double scholarships for students from underrepresented backgrounds. It has committed to the creation of a dedicated office for equity, diversity, and inclusion, reporting directly to the dean, as well as making EDI part of our school's curriculum. I would love to commend the school, particularly Dean Mehoff, for taking such bold initiatives so quickly. We recognize the road ahead is long and there is a lot to do still, but we are here to assist you and stand behind you, even in our next chapter as alumni. Out of some of the positives I have mentioned for 2020 above, the most important thing to happen for me, however, has been the re-baselining of life. Yuval Noah Harari, an author most of you will be familiar with, refers to the constructs around our lives as stories. The monetary system, the legal system, religion, careers, nations, all of these are mythical human constructs. We get so trapped in them, we forget what is real and what is not. And how do we differentiate what is real? Well, the test that he offers is if that particular thing can suffer. If a bank goes bankrupt, does it suffer? No. If a country loses a war, does it suffer? No. Humans suffer. We feel pain. We are real. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest learning for me this year has been to understand and appreciate life all over again. Forget all the baggage. Forget the human constructs. Forget the stories. While I was under lockdown for months, what I missed most every day was simply the fresh air outside. I missed the touch of my parents and being close to them. I missed being with my friends. This is real. We need to keep that in mind going forward. As much as the INSEAD experience has been a joyous bubble, we are about to make contact with the outside, and we're about to do so very soon. The world we step into will be a messy one. Extreme positions have become the norm for a while, and right-wing politics promising bite-sized solutions to complex problems has been in vogue. And this kind of thinking has permeated into our social fabric and invariably into the business world. I want us to ask ourselves, has this simple strongman leadership really delivered results? Have they managed to make X great again by willing it to be or angrily chiding it? Or has the result been a predictable mess and we can come back to big tent governance again? We can come back to trusting that those in leadership are not just the loudest and brashest, but those with empathy and understanding. We have our values, ladies and gentlemen. INSEAD has repeated to us almost ad nauseum the business as a force for good mantra. But what does it mean for us? How do we carry it forward? Well, I want you to remember the leadership that we are taught to practice at this institution is a special one. It is one that not only values, but insists on diversity and recognizes it as a character of the best performing teams. It is leadership of not only monetary results, but impact as well. It is one which creates psychological safety for the expression of the best ideas. It is one which values the well-being of the team ahead of the individual. It is standing in solidarity with tough ideals, even when they are not comfortable. And it is counter-social leadership, which expands the space for others, as opposed to narrowing it. These are the ideals that we have to lift up. These are the ideals that we need to live by. If anything, this year has made us recognize that life is a blessing. It is irresponsible to not make it count. So, with the above in mind, classmates and friends, I leave you with one final message. Go out and do something great because you can. Do something with impact because the world needs you to. Do something you love, because if there's one thing we've learned this year, it's that tomorrow is not promised to any of us. Thank you. I will miss you. Let us keep our bond forever. Thank you. It's been an honor.